Your subconscious is always listening. Every word you whisper, every thought you repeat, every emotion you feed becomes a command. It never argues. It never questions. It simply obeys. If you keep saying, I'm not good enough, your subconscious will build a life to prove it. If you say, I always fail, it will create situations that make you right. But the moment you learn to speak the language of the subconscious, you stop being a victim of your thoughts and become the master of your reality. Understand this. Your subconscious mind is the builder of your destiny. It works while you sleep. It acts while you doubt, and it manifests exactly what you believe to be true. In this journey, you will learn how to command it, how to reprogram the invisible power that shapes every detail of your life. This is not about wishful thinking. This is about mental discipline. It's about understanding the laws that govern your inner world and using them to bend reality in your favor. Because once you master your mind, everything outside of you falls into place. Inside you lives a power so vast, so obedient, and so consistent that it never takes a day off. This power has built empires, healed broken bodies, and turned impossible dreams into living realities. Yet the tragedy is that most people will go their entire lives without ever learning how to use it. That subconscious mind, it is the silent engine behind everything you do, everything you attract, and everything you become. It beats your heart, heals your wounds, digests your food, and it also translates your every thought into the circumstances of your life. You see, your subconscious mind is not creative in itself. It doesn't invent new ideas, and it doesn't reason. It simply obeys. It takes whatever commands the conscious mind repeats with emotion and turns them into patterns of behavior, habits, and physical results. If your conscious mind is the captain of a ship, your subconscious is the crew. The captain gives the order, but the crew makes the journey happen. The tragedy is that most captains are asleep and the crew left without clear direction. Keep sailing in circles, following old instructions from the past. Every belief you hold, every fear you nurture, every doubt you repeat is a line of code written in the language of your subconscious. And your subconscious will follow that code until you rewrite it. You were born with infinite potential, but from the moment you entered this world, your mind began to absorb commands from others. Your parents, your teachers, society and media. They told you what to fear, what to chase, what to believe, and what was realistic. Those voices repeated often enough became your inner voice. If you were told you weren't smart, your subconscious recorded that as a truth. If you were told money is evil, it accepted that as law. If you were told success is only for the lucky, it built walls to keep you where you. Error. But here's the truth that few ever realize. You can reprogram that voice. You can issue new orders. And your subconscious, loyal and tireless, will obey them just as faithfully as it obeyed the old ones. Your results are not a reflection of who you are. They are a reflection of what your subconscious believes to be true about you. When that belief changes, everything else changes with it. Think about this. Every person who has achieved greatness, every inventor, every leader, every millionaire has learned how to direct the power of their subconscious mind. They didn't rely on chance. They trained their thoughts the way an athlete trains his body. They repeated their goals until their subconscious accepted them as fact. And once that happened, the universe itself began to rearrange in their favor. Napoleon Hill said it best. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Belief is not magic. It's programming. It is the process of teaching your subconscious what to expect. And once it expects success, it will create it. Your subconscious mind does not care if what you feed it is true or false. It only cares that it is repeated with feeling. When you say, I am confident, your subconscious begins to align your posture, your tone, your actions with that statement. When you say, I am worthless, it will do the same crafting behaviors, choices, and reactions to match. This is the hidden law of the mind. What you consistently impress upon the subconscious, it will eventually express in your life. So if you truly wish to change your outer world, you must start within, not by wishing, not by hoping, but by commanding, by sending clear, consistent, and emotional instructions to the power within you. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for permission. You already have the most advanced technology in existence, your mind, and it's waiting for your orders. The moment you decide to take control, to become aware of your thoughts, to replace old beliefs with new ones, you begin to awaken the giant within. Your subconscious doesn't resist change. It simply needs direction. Like a powerful stallion, it can carry you toward greatness or drag you through chaos, depending on how you hold the res. So from this moment forward, watch your thoughts as carefully as a sculptor watches every strike of his chisel. Every statement you make about yourself becomes a blueprint. Every I measure you hold in your mind is a seed. And every repetition, whether positive or negative, is a command that your subconscious will execute with absolute faithfulness. The question is no longer whether your subconscious obeys. It always does. The question is, what commands are you giving it? Because once you learn to command your mind, you command your destiny. There is a law that governs every success and every failure in life. It is not written in books or hidden in secret societies. It operates silently but relentlessly, shaping every experience, every relationship, and every result you ever encounter. It is the law of mental command. This law states, your subconscious mind will always obey the orders impressed upon it by your dominant thoughts and emotions. It doesn't care whether those commands lead to success or ruin. It simply follows the instruction like electricity. It can light your home or burn it to the ground, depending on how you use it. Every time you think a thought with emotion, you are issuing a command to the subconscious mind. Every time you speak about yourself, you are programming the system that creates your destiny. Most people live their lives as if their thoughts are random. They believe worry, fear, and self-doubt are harmless. But the subconscious doesn't filter them as just thoughts. It receives them as orders, and it begins to organize your life to fulfill those instructions. You say, I can't do this, and your subconscious shuts down creative solutions. You say, I never have enough money, and it ensures you miss opportunities that could change. That you say, no one loves me, and it blinds you to the love that's already around you. This is not superstition. This is mental law. Your words, your tone, your imagination, they all form the blueprint of your future. And the subconscious follows that blueprint without fail. Think of your conscious mind as the commander of an army. Every thought is a soldier waiting for orders. When you command with confidence, your army moves with precision. When you hesitate, your army becomes confused, scattered, and weak. The law of mental command rewards clarity. When you say, I am healthy, you strong and full of life, and you repeat it with conviction, your subconscious begins to restore your body and align your habits to that belief. When you say, I am focused and disciplined, your subconscious finds ways to make that true. It removes distractions, attracts order, and strengthens your will. But when you contradict yourself, when you say one thing and feel another, your subconscious becomes divided. It doesn't know which order to obey. You may say, I want success. But if deep down you believe you're unworthy of it, the subconscious will side with your emotion, not your words. That's why emotion is the fuel of command. Words without feeling are empty. They are like arrows without tips. They never pierce the target. When your words and emotions align, your subconscious receives a clear, undeniable order, and it will move mountains to obey. This is how great leaders, inventors, and creators operate. They don't merely hope, they command. They don't beg to change, they declare it. They imprint their will upon the invisible and watch the visible world rearrange in response. Napoleon Hill called this definitus of purpose. It's the mental clarity that trumps a wish into a command. The subconscious mind doesn't respond to vague intentions. It doesn't move for maybe someday, or I'll try. It responds only to definite orders repeated with definite belief. That's why affirmations fail. For most people, they repeat the words, but not the emotion. They speak from doubt, not from authority. They are trying to convince their subconscious instead of commanding it. When you say, I am successful, you must feel it as already true. When you visualize abundance, you must act as if it is already yours. This alignment between word, feeling, and belief creates the vibration that the subconscious recognizes as law. You must speak to your mind the way a leader speaks to his troops calmly, firmly, and with total certainty that his order will be carried out. Because once you give a clear command, the subconscious begins its silent work. Immediately, it starts adjusting your perception, your focus, your energy, and your environment to bring that command into physical reality. You may not see results right away, but make no mistake, the order has been received, and the gears of the universe are turning in your favor. This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, but intelligent faith. The kind of faith that knows a planted seed doesn't sprout the next morning, but grows beneath the soil unseen until the day it breaks the surface. So guard your commands carefully. Never issue an order you don't want fulfilled. Never speak casually about your limits, your fears, or your weaknesses, because to the subconscious, every word is a decree. If you want to rise, speak of rising. If you want to heal, speak of wholeness. If you want success, speak success. Feel success, expect success. The law of mental command is impartial. It serves both the wise and the ignorant equally. But only those who understand it can use it to transform their destiny. So the next time a thought enters your mind, pause and ask, am I commanding what I want or what I fear? Because the moment you take control of your mental commands, you stop being a passenger in life, and you become the driver. And once you take the wheel, there are no limits to where you can go. Your words are not just sounds, they are vibrations that carry power, meaning, and direction. They are commands sent straight to the subconscious mind and to the universe itself. Every word you speak about yourself becomes a blueprint for your future. Every statement you make, every phrase you repeat, every label you accept, they all write the script that your subconscious mind will follow without question. You've heard the saying, be careful what you wish for. But the truth is even deeper. Be careful what you say, because your subconscious is always listening. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is often found in the language they use every day. The successful man speaks in terms of creation, growth, and possibility. The defeated man speaks in terms of limitation, lack, and fear. Listen to yourself for just one day. Truly listen. You'll be shocked by how often you declare failure before it even happens. I can't afford that. I'm so unlucky. I always mess things up. I never have time. Each of these phrases is a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious, and that soil doesn't judge. It simply grows what it's given. If you plant weeds, you'll get weeds. If you plant abundance, you'll harvest abundance. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a joke and a declaration. Say something often enough, even playfully, and your mind begins to believe it. That's how habits of speech become habits of thought, and habits of thought become habits of destiny. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Thoughts mixed with purpose, persistence, and emotion become powerful forces that translate into reality." But he could have just as easily said words, because words are thoughts made visible. They are the bridge between imagination and manifestation. When you speak, you are literally shaping your future. If you say, "I'm becoming stronger every day," your subconscious begins to align with that truth. If you say, "I always attract the right opportunities," your perception expands.